You actually came across this pretty interesting graphic from NHL.com talking about the deadline acquisitions that had the biggest impact so far in the playoffs, which is exactly why you make trades at the deadline. So who are some of those guys on that names, and like kind of what kind of impacts have they been having?
Yeah, I'm going to throw a laundry list of names at you, and you let me know which guy with the bird's eye view that you've been watching, who you think has been the best.
Ooh,
I mean,
okay.
They've all had extremely impactful impacts, poor choice of word, very impactful thus far in the playoffs for deadline acquisitions this year. First of all, sorry to say this, cover your ears, Leaf fans, Nick Paul, 2 goals in 7 games, 2 incredible goals, not in the way that he scored them, but in how impactful that they were.
Yeah.
Number 2, Claude Giroux, 7 points in 7 games in the playoffs.
Really?
That's what they got him for.
Wow.
None of them on the power play, quite
No
weirdly
kidding.
enough. Next, Domi, 2 big goals in Game 7s, right?
Huge.
Two goals in 7 games for a depth player is a good showing. Next, we got Andrew Copp, 7 points in 8 games. He's been a very, very good source of secondary scoring for that team. And lastly, Josh Manson's put up big minutes, big OT winner in Game 1. I mean, if St. Louis found a way to scrape through in that overtime, this series could have looked a lot different.
For sure.
Of these names, who has been your MVP thus far?
So, I mean, Giroux is maybe the easy name, point a game. But I want to sort of take it as like bang for your buck almost approach. I kind of want to say this is a tough one because in terms of bang for your buck, those Paul goals and those Domi goals are so timely. Like those are clutch goals. I'm going to say Andrew Copp though. And I'm going to say Andrew Copp because when we talked about we had our trade deadline breakdown episode, I kind of pinned this one in my own head as like a deal that could go a long way because the depth on the Rangers has been an issue all year. And if you're going to get almost a point a game from a guy, I think they gave up a couple seconds, which granted is not cheap, but he's good there. If he re-signs there, they're good. That's even better. You're paying 2 second rounders for a guy who's going to be on your team for the next 4 to 5 years. And he kind of is super. I don't have any numbers to back this up, but he seems like a playoff type guy. He wears a tinted visor, granted, but he does just grind. I think he plays special teams. I think he kills penalties for them. He's so versatile. I do think the run comes to an end, but I think he's been a really great addition. Who's that guy for you?
Same thing. I got Andrew Copp, and I don't want to. I was just going to use everything exactly that you just said, so I won't repeat it. But what I will say is, you know who one guy who has not been good? Surprise, surprise.
Who?
Benjamin Chariot.
Oh yeah. I need to compose myself because we took way too much heat for calling that an overpay and for calling him a bad defenseman, especially from Habs fans, even though he doesn't play for your freaking team anymore. So take a step back, please. Let's enjoy this for a second.
I don't want to be petty, but I got to admit,
take a victory lap.
Those TikTok comments pissed me off a little bit.
For sure.
Because those TikTok comments were either filled with Habs fans, Leafs haters, Florida lovers, or people that are scared of numbers. I don't know what it is.
The last one's a very good one.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at it. 0 goals, 1 assist in 7 playoff games. Granted, that is not what you got Ben Chariot for. We will not hold that against him. What'd you get him for? You got him for grit, toughness, defensive intangibles, right?
Yeah, quote-unquote, logs big minutes and plays shutdown D.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Among all defensemen in the playoffs this year, 8th worst in penalty minutes given up. Do you want to know why that's so big? Because Florida is the worst penalty kill team in the entire NHL. They were the 3rd worst penalty killing team out of the 16 that made it, and they're currently the worst team with the ones that are remaining. The only teams worse than them were LA and Nashville. We won't even count Nashville because they ran into a red-hot Colorado power play where I don't care if the best penalty killing team was out there, they were going to get walked on. You know what? We'll give it to him. 16th best at shot blocks. The reason why I put that in is because that's the only good thing I could find about his game.
We got to sprinkle some positives.
Yeah, and I want to be as objective as I can. Here's where it gets really rough. Top third among defensemen in the playoffs in most giveaways. Top 10% in most defensive zone giveaways. 7 worst in goals above expected. What does this tell me? He's terrible offensively. It's not what you got him for. Terrible defensively. It's what you got him for. Takes penalties at the worst time. You got him for intangibles. Doesn't have intangibles. So nice. If you still want to argue that his intangibles are valuable, are they worth the first, the second, and the third round pick? Or if it wasn't that, it was a first and something. Is it worth that? No. You know what? I'll give it to the player. I'll give it to the people in the TikTok comments. You're right. It wasn't an overpay. It was highway robbery is what it was.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the Florida GM went out and spent that money on Ben Chariot, even if he was better than the sixth defenseman you had. There must have been a better defenseman or player you could have got for that price.
That is just narrative driving someone's price up the roof, because apparently there was a bidding war for him. If he doesn't play in Montreal and go on that cup run last year, he's just dude. He's a dude in the NHL who's solid, who's fine. Not a guy who gets traded for a first something, prospects, this and that. I didn't realize it was that bad. I'd heard some people talking, well, he hasn't been that good. I didn't realize it got to this point.
Yeah, for anybody who's saying, oh, you're just all you do is look at stats. What did I get called? The stat merchant in the TikTok comments, something like that. Let's look at the eye test. He does not contribute anything defensively to that team. Losing battles in his own zone. He's in the penalty box half of the game.
That's the thing too,
right?
Because
the eye test, the statistical tests are all bad. Ben Chariot, if you're listening to this, man, lots of respect to you. You're an NHL player. You're 10 times the player I am, 100 times, a million times the player I'm ever going to be. Might win a cup this year. The reason why I got all upset on this podcast is not because of you. It's because of the people in the TikTok comments who went off on me, and I had to sit there and just take it for no reason. But whatever. Rant over.
Well, I'm going to sprinkle something else. The thing that's funny is about the penalties is that I think there were a couple people in the comments also saying yeah, penalties in the regular season fine, but in the in the playoffs they put their whistles away. The one year that they don't put their whistles away is the year that he gets traded for big money. So nothing's gone right for that guy. It's not his fault.
No, it's the fault of all the people in the TikTok comments who call me dumb.
Yeah, we're taking a victory lap because we've been wrong on a bunch, but when we're right, we're gonna bask in it.
And you know what? I'm still gonna, if we post this on TikTok, I'm still gonna get walked on.
You're gonna
get
roasted even more.
It's fine.
But
whatever.
That'll just be jealousy, not because you're wrong.
That's fine.